Have you been consistently putting out content, but it doesn't seem like anyone's listening? You have a transformational message that will drastically shift the way that people live their lives, run their businesses, or take care of their health. But every time you put something out, it's like crickets. No one's there. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 specific elements that you can implement to get content to start working for you so that way you can make sales so much easier. But you first have to realize that this does not mean that you can't help people or that you're not good at what you do. In fact, it's the people that are super smart and can really help a lot of people that I often find have a more difficult time articulating and communicating their ability to help people through their content. So let's dive in. The first element is identify your edge. Now we got to look at edge. Edge is a sharp side of a tool or a weapon. That means that you have to know what your edge is, your sharp side, so that way you cut through the noise in the marketplace. If you are saying to yourself that the market is saturated and you're seeing so many people doing the same or something similar to what you want to do, that means that you haven't yet identified your edge, the thing that is going to be sharp enough to cut through the marketplace. So, how do you identify your edge? You actually have to have a process in which you take your clients or customers through in order to get a result. And when you take them through a process, now you're able to think strategically when it comes to creating content and put that into a framework, tell a story, share an analogy, a metaphor. You are able to conceptualize what it is you do in a much easier way when you have a process. So, write down all of the ways in which you help people and what is the step-by-step process that you take them through in order to get that end desired result. And now you are able to take parts of that and speak to that in your content so that you can paint a picture for people so that they can say in their mind, aha, this person can help me. Kind of like this video. This is the 4 elements I take my clients through, but when we work together one-on-one, I obviously go through a lot more nuances and I distill it down so it applies specifically to their business, but I'm sharing these 4 elements with you, and now you're able to cross-reference if you are doing these 4 elements or what parts of these 4 elements you might need to tighten up for yourself so that you can start seeing results. Now, when you have a process and you're able to convey that process in your content, it's really because what you've developed is something called conviction. When you can see for yourself the way that you help someone get a result, you have a deeper level of belief within yourself, your ability. It is like conviction, it is deep seated. And conviction is a part of your edge in the marketplace because there's a lot of people creating content. Brendan Kane, the author of Hook Point and 1 Million Followers, he said, it's so easy to create content, but it doesn't mean it's easy to get paid from content. And so what I want you to see is that when you have conviction, that makes you a part of the percentage of people that are getting paid. You're not just putting content out because you've developed a process and now you are able to show up online and speak to that process. So the second thing is, or the second element is immersing yourself in writing principles. Now, I'm not talking about strategy or tactics. Strategies and tactics come and go, and they're also not true across the board. So, the things you might be doing on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube, they're all going to be different if it's a strategy because the platforms are all different. But when you apply principles, that's when you know how to gain attention because you're really talking about writing concepts and human psychology concepts within writing that just attracts an audience in. And so that doesn't matter or care what platform you are on. You can take the same principle and apply it to Facebook and apply it to LinkedIn or apply it to YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You can take the exact same principle and it's going to work across the board within its respective platform. When you have a strategy, for example, something that might work on Facebook is not going to work on YouTube. They are completely different platforms. But when you apply writing principles, Now you're able to take that one principle and spread it across the board. And all of that is distilled down into the psychology of how people buy, how people start giving you attention. And one of these principles is always being able to help someone see what you are saying. So when you are writing your content or scripting out for a video, you want to make sure that you are allowing your audience to see what you are saying. Anytime someone can create a picture in their mind with the words that you are saying, now they are able to believe what you're saying. And that is also how you start to build trust. Putting out more content isn't necessarily the thing that's just going to build more trust because you're doing more of it. Once you have these elements in place, then you're going to build more trust with doing less work. And so, if you want more people to pay attention to what you're saying, ask yourself, are you able to, or are they able to see themselves inside of what you are saying? So, when I first gave you the example of identify your edge, I gave a definition of edge. I told you it was the sharp side of a tool or a weapon. And then I said, you have to identify your edge to cut through the noise in the marketplace. So you conjured up a picture in your mind of something that is sharp, something that is going to cut through something. And I guarantee you that gave you a boost, a level of inspiration within you because you're like, ooh, I get to figure out what my edge is, what my sharp side is. And so you might have even heard that called as someone's X factor. But the way that I have described it to you is I called it an edge because it's the sharp side. Right? So this is how you start to convey writing principles so that people can see what you are saying. Now, I could take this exact same principle and apply it to Instagram and TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, and I might even use a visual on Instagram of a knife cutting through something, knife cutting through butter or whatever it might be, a visual, and I might do a voiceover that then says, have you identified your edge in the marketplace? And you can see in that visual that something is cutting through something, and then I can make the exact same reference. So that is a principle, and you can see how I've just applied it to different platforms. So the third the third one. Are we on three? Gosh, the third one is innovate your own creative process. So what do I mean by that? Everyone thinks differently, and the way that we bring an idea or a concept to fruition is going to look different for people. But here's one thing I know that is tried and true. If you're watching this video, it means you are super smart, you are brilliant, you have so much knowledge to share. One of the ways that you need to actually start developing and innovating your own creative process is by using a strategy I called free writing. Free writing allows you to basically brain dump or thought dump your entire thoughts around a particular problem. I actually have a video talking about free writing. You can either click the link down in the description box. I will link it there, but I will also link it somewhere on this screen for you to watch. It is what I wish I knew about content creation. And I talk about how I have used free writing to help me with my ideas so that I go from idea and concept into a piece of content. What this also helps you do is learn to think from the marketplace. When you are so brilliant and so smart and so good at what you do and have the ability to help a lot of people, it's really easy to get consumed in your own knowledge, in the way that you do something. But when it comes to creating content, you have to think not from here, but you have to think from out there. Think from the brain of the audience that you are serving. So when I put this together, I have my own creative process for how I create my content. And this is something that I help my clients do because we don't all think the same, but there are certain components and steps that you have to think about in order to get your point across so the audience can feel drawn in and say, aha, this person can help me, so that they can listen to you more, give you more attention. So this is all about understanding how you are able to process. And when you have your own creative process down, you don't need to look for a template or a framework. You don't need to batch content. It's one of these interesting things I'm seeing people talking about, batching like 60 days of content in an entire weekend. I'm not saying that that's wrong, but not everybody's brain can think like that. Some people are very intuitively led, but even if you are intuitively led, you still need structure. And this is why it's important to have a creative process so that way you don't feel scattered in what it is you are doing. If you are running your business and your content creation off of intuition, likely you feel scattered because your intuition will pull you in some different places. So you have to have a way to create structure within your intuition so that way you can create content that really pulls in attention and you are creating a cohesive brand online. And number 4 is implement a consistent plan. This is the fourth element. Implement a consistent plan. Now, consistency is going to look different for everyone. You might be more prevalent on one platform than another, but when you have a consistent plan, you're now able to take one piece of content and know how to landscape that among the different platforms. So that way you are not only creating for one platform but never being seen. Now, I'm not a believer in like trying to be every single where at every single point in time. However, when you know how to take one piece of content, now you're here, but you just know how to take it and put it there. It doesn't mean you got to show up here, show up here, show up here, show up here. Yes, you're showing up, but it's through your content that you've created one time. So I really enjoy YouTube. That's why I'm here. But I take these videos and I make them smaller into bite-sized pieces and make them reels on Instagram and reels on Facebook. I will also take the script component of this and make it a long form post either on Facebook or LinkedIn. And so when you are able to do that, now I'm everywhere without having to be everywhere. I hope you're picking up what I'm saying. And so you're able to have a consistent plan that allows you to distribute yourself, but from one piece of content. So I hope that this video blesses you. I want you to take these 4 elements and see which ones do I have, which ones do I not have. And if you are still feeling like you need a little bit more help, I want you to click the link in the description box because I have identified 7 of the biggest mistakes that experts, coaches, and creators are making that are holding back their income. And that is a free masterclass down below. Share this video with somebody who you know can also benefit and drop it in the comments. Which one of these 4 elements do you need to work on? And I will see you in another video. Bye.